Hey guys, TikTok Sully here, or just Sully, and today I wanted to bring you guys a video talking about Balenciaga and their recent trolling. Balenciaga is one of the biggest luxury labels out right now, but over the past few years, it seemed to have taken a different direction in an attempt to question what luxury really is. And even though this is something that the fashion world needs and appreciates sometimes, I feel like Balenciaga have just taken it too far. And this all really began when they appointed Demna Gvasalia as their new creative director. So all of this can be blamed on him. And he is pretty invested in meme culture anyway, so I understand why he does these things. I just didn't think it'd be accepted at such a large fashion house such as Balenciaga. So let's take a look at how Balenciaga have trolled fashion over the past few years. 5. IKEA Bug. The first one to mention is their infamous IKEA bag incident, where Balenciaga replicated the famous blue IKEA fractal bag and recreated it entirely out of leather. Now this was something that people knew was a humorous take on the original, because the original IKEA bag is so well known around the world, but the reason this made the list, because when people saw that this was priced at $2,000, the internet totally lost it and couldn't believe that this was actually a real thing. Every news outlet ended up writing an article about this, explaining how ridiculous it was, and even IKEA themselves ended up responding to it after a while, and they took a light-hearted shot at Balenciaga's attempt at replicating their design. Thanks to this, people actually did begin buying Balenciaga's version, but not because it was something cool or worth the money, but because it became a meme, and that's what made it worth $2,000. So well done to the internet. They really helped Balenciaga market that one. The mind behind this creation, being Demna Gvasalia, went on to explain that the reason he made this was because he himself was a fan of IKEA's version due to its longevity and functionality. So at least he was being honest in where his inspiration came from. 4. Crocs. Next, we had the Balenciaga Crocs, which the brand released back in 2018 and surprisingly sold out. This was another odd release because it attempted to reimagine the most mundane footwear available into a luxury item, and again this had a luxury price tag attached to it of $850. As I said, the shoe did sell out, which is what was so surprising about it, because surely this was another satire release to see what they could get away with. And of course, they did get away with it, which would have only fueled Demna and Balenciaga even more for this type of behavior. The main difference between this and the original was that this was a platform rendition of the Croc, and I have noticed that shorter women do find platform sneakers appealing, so this mixed with a sense of luxury and fun footwear just might have been the recipe for its success, and the niche market it was aimed at quite clearly welcomed it. But nevertheless, the Croc has been getting a bad rap for quite a while, and even the internet was giving Crocs a hard time during this period, which is why it was so surprising to see Balenciaga jump right into the deep end and come out with their own version of the shoe. 3. Blanket Bag. Coming in at number 3, we have Balenciaga's leather blanket tote. I'm sure you can see why this caught the attention of people, especially people of colour, because this is something that we all know too well. When you were younger and it was a cold winter's day, your mum would go into the storage closet and pull out one of these bad boys to help keep you warm. So when Balenciaga attempted to recreate this into a luxury item, people couldn't help but see the humour in it, as well as an attempt to gentrify a prominent item of the middle class household. Balenciaga's take wasn't actually a blanket, and actually just a leather tote with the illusion of a blanket being printed on it, and it was more usable as a travel bag. What really made me laugh about this was the fact that Balenciaga was able to recreate the print so accurately, because every time I look at it, it just reminds me of the original blanket bags, which I definitely know all too well. And personally, I don't think this print can be marketed as a luxury item because I find it to be quite ugly. It's kind of like that nasty decoration that your parents put up that they think looks nice, but really it makes the house look haunted. Or kind of like when your parents put a plastic covering over the couches to keep them safe. This print just falls into that realm of decoration for me, so the $3,000 price tag isn't justifiable to me in any scenario. 2. Bernie Sanders logo. In 2016, USA held their presidential elections in which candidates such as Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and the winner Donald Trump were running for president. Of course, this was a massive topic in mainstream media, so everyone was familiar with it. Balenciaga saw this as an opportunity to draw inspiration from, so in the midst of the corporate climate that 2016 was, they presented their Fall Winter 17 collection at the beginning of 2017, and people couldn't help but notice that a prominent logo of the collection had uncanny resemblance to that of Bernie Sanders' logo. This whole collection was very much corporate themed, so all the pieces were inspired by a corporate culture, and the thing that really made this apparent was Balenciaga's Bernie Sanders logo. It's fairly obvious that this logo was inspired by the presidential candidates, which came as a shock to people because fashion often avoids getting involved in stuff like this, but Demna ended up executing it well and producing it at the right time when demand for Balenciaga branded products was at an all-time high. The logo got a mixed reaction, with the majority of people receiving doing it well, and the logo went on to be one of the most popular logos for Balenciaga in that 2017 year. Personally, I never really liked this logo, and I never wanted any of the pieces with it on it because I found it to be quite tacky, for lack of a better word, and I never really found it appealing. So I can speak for the minority that didn't really like this logo. The collection itself was great though, and I still enjoyed the runway show and corporate theme, so I still enjoyed the collection regardless. 1. Their Instagram. Coming in at the #1 spot is Balenciaga's biggest troll of this new generation, and that's their whole Instagram profile. Ever since around 2015, brands realized how useful Instagram can be for advertising, especially because it's free. So every brand began utilizing their Instagram profiles to show off the brand and its products in the most clean, luxurious and professional way. Because after all, that is what people are attracted to, including Balenciaga. But a few years later, when the brand introduced Demna Gvasalia to the brand, Balenciaga's Instagram profile also took a different direction, similarly to their collections. And the years following this, it just got weirder and weirder. If you take a look at Balenciaga's profile, it's filled with models showing off the brand's clothing in very odd poses. And one thing I found particularly weird about this was the fact that in some of the posts, you couldn't even see the clothes properly. It's like they weren't even trying to show the clothes and just uploaded to get a response. And then on the product shots, the products are placed in inappropriate places to make even their normal shots come across weird. As the years have gone on, the profile has just continued to go stranger and stranger, and by 2019, it really hit its peak because it seemed as if the brand had just totally given up and were uploading anything regardless if it was good or bad. Half the pictures were unflattering and the opposite of aesthetically pleasing, and to make it even worse, they weren't even accompanied with a caption to even explain what was going on. Regardless if this makes sense to anyone, it must be working because otherwise they wouldn't have kept it going for so long. And I guess it really embodies the meme culture the brand is trying to reflect, and it also has a sense of shock value because it's so unexpected for such a prestige brand to be acting like this, which is probably what's making their audience eat it up, even if they aren't necessarily enjoying it. I think the joke's gone on long enough now, because every now and then I'll be scrolling my Instagram feed and I see a new picture from their account and it just makes me question the whole brand. But I guess this will be a memory of Demna Gvasalia's time at the house. Let me know down below what you guys think of Balenciaga during this weird time in the brand's history, and if you're a fan of what they're doing. But that brings me to the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button as it always helps. And also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, which is TikTok Sully, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that down below in the description. Also, if you're interested in fashion, then make sure you also hit that subscribe button down over there somewhere, or you can just click on this icon because this is also a subscribe button. But that's all from me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.